The safest survival method is to act as if you have seen and heard nothing. As we live, we meet countless people. However, we can't get along with all of them. Sometimes there are people who only hurt each other, and we form relationships that are utterly unpleasant even at the thought. Even just brushing past someone can pull us into unexpected danger. Avoiding relationships with these harmful individuals from the start is the wise approach. Comparing making friends to a voyage, it can be considered a dangerous journey, where there is the risk of shipwreck on unforeseen reefs. The legendary ancient Greek poet Homer left these words in the mouth of the wise Odysseus in the epic. The Odyssey, stay away from danger. The safest way to survive is always to pretend you didn't see or hear anything. A relationship that maintains a suitable distance lasts longer. Avoid becoming too close. Don't treat others too intimately, and don't let them treat you the same way. If you become too close, the superiority that comes from perfection fades, and you won't receive respect. Stars maintain their brilliant radiance because they are far from us. The divine earns respect, but the human yields contempt. The more you show in relationships, the less you have. As you converse with others, hidden flaws can reveal themselves, so it's not good to be too close with anyone. Being intimate with superiors is risky, and with inferiors, it lessens your vigilance. It is also not good to be close with vulgar people. They are foolish and can act rudely, and when they gain favor, they mistake it for their due right. Such excessive intimacy is akin to vulgarity. One must also know how to observe situations. In the course of our lives, we may find ourselves caught in whirlwinds of passion. In such times, it is wise to retreat to shallow and safe harbor. Sometimes, medicine can exacerbate the condition. Therefore, sometimes, a stance of physical or moral neglect is necessary. For physicians, there's as much science in no prescription as in prescription. And sometimes the skill lies in not using the medicine. Maintaining calmness in the midst of a giant whirlwind is like letting go and lying down. Yielding at the right time guarantees future victory. A spring can become muddy with just a little disturbance. In such cases, the spring must be left undisturbed to clear. It will find stability on its own. Master the skill of overcoming your competitors and those who oppose you. Despite any rational contempt for competitors and adversaries, disdain is not sufficient. What's crucial is magnanimity. Speaking kindly about those who slander you is a praiseworthy act that goes above and beyond. There's no retaliation more heroic. Every fortune you newly acquire tightens the noose around the neck of those who harbor ill will towards you, and every reputation you gain is hellishly tormenting for your competitor. This is the greatest of all punishments, for poison flows from fortune. Competitors do not die and disappear once they experience death. Every time praises for those they envy ring out. Ensuring careful control of one's tongue is the core of harmonious human relationships. Do not step out of line unless others ask, for you will not be ignored if you do not overstep. Maintain your own value to gain the respect of others. Be strict, not generous, with your own character. You are welcomed when you accept others' requests for help. Do not go unless you are called. Go when you are requested by others. If you act on your own accord, you end up bearing all the discontent if things go wrong. Conversely, even if things go well, there will be no one to thank you. Overstepping your boundaries leads to all kinds of dismissiveness and contempt. The one who rushes in brazenly will be left with embarrassment. Consider human relationships without dialogue. It would be difficult to understand the other person or express oneself. Without dialogue, we struggle. However, due to the nature of conversations occurring in everyday situations, it's easy to make a mistake when we let our guard down. A careless word can invite unexpected misunderstandings or become a target of resentment. The person responsible for that situation is myself, so be careful when speaking. Socrates, the father of philosophy, said, "Speak whatever you like, and then I can understand you." He already knew that our psychological and personal traits are reflected in our dialogue. It is also a skill to get used to people's flaws. Become accustomed to the flaws of your acquaintances, as one becomes accustomed to an ugly face. This is particularly important in dependent relationships. There are people who are so terrible that it seems impossible to live with them, but we have no choice but to do so. Therefore, getting used to them, like getting used to an ugly face, is a necessary skill for life. In such a way, you won't be surprised in any horrible situation. Of course, you might be scared at first, but that fear gradually disappears. Moreover, deep thought allows for the prevention or tolerance of unpleasant situations. The tongue is like a beast difficult to control. Once it breaks free, it is hard to catch again. This is why we should not take our speech lightly. People who speak thoughtlessly are perceived as rash, eventually losing trust. A person's character can be understood through their words. We are responsible for controlling our own tongue. It should be firmly restrained to prevent it from running wild, and we must manage it appropriately depending on the situation. Mastering the tongue is key to maintaining harmonious relationships and gaining trust. Wise people do not bother others with unnecessary chatter. They progress things quickly and prevent discomfort by only saying what needs to be said succinctly. In this way, good words become better when spoken briefly, and bad words do not worsen when they are kept short. A glass of wine is more valuable than a bucket of water. The quotes in the quote book are all short because wisdom is succinctly condensed. The more foolish a person is, the longer they speak, not because they lack speaking skills, but because they lack the essence of what they are saying. People who drone on with unnecessary words are nothing more than a nuisance to others. Just because someone is by your side does not mean they are on your side. Among the people who approach with a smiling face, many harbor less than benevolent intentions. These individuals subtly probe, seeking to understand your sincerity or unearth your secrets. Others suddenly vent their anger at you face to face. They don't hesitate to hurl hurtful words, full of mockery, and they might even chuckle at the sight of your despair. Some spread baseless rumors, aiming to diminish others' social credit. Those who are not immune to such malice can easily suffer great emotional damage. We must handle these ruthless crowds effectively. Not everyone close to us is on our side. There are people who harbor animosity towards us for no apparent reason. We must have a minimum level of precaution to protect ourselves. Don't reveal your thoughts easily. Do not disclose what you're holding in your heart readily in front of others. Even in everyday conversations, it's better not to speak your thoughts in a vulnerable state. Just as you would quickly lose all your money in a card game if your hand was revealed, revealing your thoughts to others will likely lead to a disastrous end. Keep your decisive hand hidden until the critical moment. People will be curious about what cards you're hiding. Remember, clearly expressing your thoughts does not necessarily earn you respect from others. On the contrary, you may often face criticism filled with malice. If your thoughts are deviant, your misfortune will only grow. Be sure to maintain your line of integrity. In human relationships, one should never exceed the limit. The best way to form a relationship is to always maintain moderation while respecting each other's autonomy. Do not meddle in others' affairs or mimic what they say. Do not allow others to interfere with your actions or beliefs. There is a line between yourself and others that should not be crossed. Respecting this boundary is the path to respecting the other person. Do not easily believe or fall in love. The maturity of the mind emerges from a slowly solidifying faith. Falsehood is very lowly, and faith is very steadfast. Those who are easily swayed will end up facing embarrassment. Even if you harbor doubts about what the other person says, do not let them know. Immediately labeling the speaker as a con artist or victim of fraud is not courteous and can cause embarrassment. However, the worst action is to immediately label the other person as a liar, making it impossible to trust their words. In this case, both the untrustworthy person and the distrustful one will experience disaster. When listening to a story, it's wise to reserve judgment. But when speaking, one should only speak of what they can be certain. There are ways to show doubt without expressing it, such as showing kindness easily. In this way, one will not be deceived not only in words, but also in actions. Moments of anger and joy should be restrained at all costs. A moment of intense emotion can cause more problems than long periods of calmness. Lifelong embarrassment can be created in a brief moment. Often, the contracts of others are designed to test your reason deliberately. They are used as a covert means to drive your excellent mind to its limit by probing into your deepest psyche. The way to prevent this is to restrain yourself, especially in sudden incidents. Those who can control risks can walk their paths with caution.